Hi, and welcome to the latest episode of Wizards of Oz. I'm Jonathan Saunders.
And I'm Tim Parrish.
And today we're going to talk about my own creator-owned series, 0 Point Origins.
Okay, so welcome to episode 2 of Wizards of Oz. Today we're going to be doing Jonathan Saunders' 0 Point Origins, which is one of the main titles of the creator-owned comics that we've been doing here. Why don't you tell us about it, John?
Yeah, so 0 Point Origins is a comic book series based off my 0 Point Season 0 animated web series, and just launched issue 3 now, and issue 4 is coming up. But it follows the, Kyle Burton, aka 0 Point, a former Australian commando, and during a mission gone wrong in East Timor, he unlocks his 0 Point energy abilities, and the series follows Kyle as he learns more about his abilities, finds out that his father was once the famed Australian superhero in the 80s, 0 Point, and kind of uncovers what's happening in the Australian world of superheroes, but he goes on his own hero's journey. And this not only serves as an origin for the animated web series, it's also its own story as well. So this is a perfect starting point for people that want to get into the world of 0 Point, or people that have watched the web series and kind of want to know how he got his powers and how he joined AFCO, the Australian government superhero series.
So it's interesting. Tell us a little about this world that you've created, John. Where how did superheroes fit into this reality?
Yeah, so in this world, I kind of wanted to go, move away from your typical, style of superheroes you see in Marvel and DC, where they're kind of like,
this guy, for example.
Oh yeah, so this is Millennium Star. This is a East Timorese superhero that saves Kyle, before he gets murked by a tank. And it kind of is our first introduction to, superheroes in 0 Point's origins, and then you find out that it's actually working for the government. But in this world, superheroes, you got two different types. You got your freelancers, and then you got your extra normal civil operatives that work for the government. And I just wanted to kind of treat superheroes in this world as almost like instead of them being like celebrities or seen as new gods, they're kind of like almost like special operators, and kind of leaning more into what you'd see from like military techno thrillers, where they're part of a team that you send into that's Breaks Hugh piece. Basically treating them more like they're kind of a mix between emergency services, the police, and counterterrorism forces.
Well, a lot of that is a lot more in your shown in issue 0 as well. So this is the one that we published, what was it, like 5 or 6 years ago now?
Oh God, more than that, like 2014, 15.
2016, look at that.
Yeah, this is old.
9 years ago. So this was what started, like the whole thing was like John was making this as a web series when we met then, like 10 years ago.
That's right.
And, and I thought it was awesome. And I was running the Darwin International Film Festival, and we ended up putting on an exhibition at a local gallery called Mayfair that Dave Collins is running, and published this as the first collection. And there's old Wing Commander before she went blonde.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and as you can see, I'm ripping off the greats like Steve Ditko there, using the 9-panel grid.
Yeah, your style's changed a lot over the years, but
it's hard to look at it. Yeah, it's hard to look at that. Like, I like the colors.
It's one of my favorite pages of the whole thing. I think this is a really good.
I still like the colors. The line work to me is like too rough to look at. But the 0 Point, there's all, I should say, Astounding Tales of Hero Fiction, which is the webcomic I published online.
Yeah, that's right.
It's it was basically a love letter to everything I love in comics, video games, manga, film, animation, and I just kind of clunched it all together to create this. So,
that's a cool piece. It could have been a full page,
Yeah, I think when I was still making this, I was still trying to work within the limitations of like doing 22 pages for a story. And
he was Masterman back then.
yeah, it was Magnus, one of the main characters in 0 Points. Is back then I based him off a old Superman ripoff.
Public domain. We thought it was public domain, and then when we were making the web series, that lawyer told us that it was.
Yeah, it was a bit fun. Yeah, it was a bit iffy. So I changed it to Magnus. I think that was probably the right call.
Yeah, but definitely. I think in the long run, it's good having your own thing. But this is a cool issue, and we decided to republish this with Wild North Comics a couple of years ago, didn't we? And
yeah, that's right. Because
now it went out of print very quickly.
So think of this almost like the Action Comics #1 of the 0 Point universe, where you first see the character. And, get a feel of where he came from. And
yeah, but I really love what you did in this first issue. It's a very high action packed. This whole first beginning in East East Timor, sorry, and it's really really intense.
Yeah, I find it
all going on.
Yeah, I wanted it to be, as I said, I love Tom Clancy's work. I love Metal Gear. I kind of wanted to add a bit of that kind of military techno thriller flair to my world of superheroes, and also I guess I
like the regionalism too, isn't it? With the setting it in East Timor, because in Darwin there was this whole bunch of military that went over, and when that all went down with the East Timor independence.
Exactly. And I even mentioned that here because as Tim said, I'm old enough to remember the 99 crisis, and I wanted to incorporate some of that Australian and East Timor history into that, and again just to make it more interesting, not only to Australian readers but international readers, because they probably don't know about any of this.
Yeah, and this guy's he's in the fist, right? They're like,
yeah, the fist, yeah, or whatever that is in the El Puto or whatever. Yeah, the fist. It was it was just I think I actually riffed that off Gundam or something. But
human fist soldier. But he's got the classic ice kind of
the metal.
Oh yeah, right.
So it's so kind of again. And that's one of the great things with the superhero, that you can reference, those kind of old kind of powers. Like obviously the most famous character that covers themselves in metal is, of course, Colossus.
Of course,
from X-Men.
There's a great double page. We also exhibited this one at the Wild Things exhibition. I remember.
That's right. Yeah.
And then this whole at the very end. This is the little gallery, we had that was Annika in this one. She's an Indonesian artist. This is Dan Hartney, did Samson, although he's not in this first edition for a while. It's more for the TV series. And then Rashan Delandis, that was pretty cool. And New Pete's, that's right. Then there's a bit of interview, there's a bit of behind the scenes, and you can, about making the series and the animated series. It's John cut some of his stars.
Yes.
Actors.
Yeah, Mark Colesmith was, amazing as 0 Points. And, as I said, obviously want to bring them back for the, whatever happens to the animation going forward.
So here's a few more issues that have been published that are all part of the 0 Point graphic novel that's coming out. So we might probably be able to have a chance to get through everything here, but maybe you could just tell us quickly about a little bit about what's going on in this issue.
Yeah. So in this issue, it's after Kyle, all his teammates die, and it awakens his transformation with his 0 Point energy powers, and at this point he goes back home and talks to his nan. Find out, where they came from, because his mother died when he was very young, so they have poor little Kyle there, his mother's dying, so again, it's like that classic superhero story of, child, parents are long gone, maybe raised by an elderly relative, like Peter Parker, and then during this issue, I'm also just giving a bit of a background to the world.
I really love this bit. This when it like breaks out into like all the 0 point theory of energy manipulation. You've really there's a lot of world building in this. And this one the whole
I've actually got this book, and I thought it would be kind of a cute reference. But yeah, in this world, as I said, superheroes have been around since like the 1940s. So their entire power systems and all that have been broken down, and it's just a science, maybe not an exact science, but I wanted to flesh out the power system of, how it works. So if you wanted to pause on this part of the video and you can read all of that. But basically there's 4 sources, power.
Or buy the comic.
Or buy the
graphic novel.
Yeah, exactly. So then we get a bit of, more backstory. And
see, that was me going, no, don't pause on it. Like, I was going, oh no, that's what I do.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what is it? What are those YouTube channels? Comics Explained, dude. Yeah, we don't go through the series.
No, yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, we shouldn't show them.
Yeah, well, we
no, I'm joking. But look, this is where he meets the Cockatoo, which is a pretty cool new character. Yeah, Juice is like he's like a golden age Australian.
Oh yeah. Technically, it would be Bronze Age, but his father's he's the original 0 Points crime fighting partner, and I wanted to do something a bit different than the usual. Like when you have a winged themed superhero, everyone just rips off Batman, but I kind of wanted to reference Gatchaman.
Yeah,
which is, why he's got that kind of helmet where the beak acts almost like a cap or a shield. And of course, there's a bit of Batman.
I thought G-Force.
Yeah, that is Gatchaman. Gatchaman, as G-Force as it was when it first came over here in like the 80s.
This bit also reminds me of Dr. Manhattan. Although this is the Maralinga quantum testing facility.
Yeah.
That's part of that story, isn't it? It's very much a...
I definitely kind of... Again, the whole series is a love letter to things I loved, including Watchmen. So you see, references to Dr. Manhattan, but even just my panel setup is very, again, as I said, ripping off Steve Ditko, which then Dave Gibbons ripped off for Watchmen.
Is ripping off...
Oh, yeah, I say that in an lie. I say that, yeah.
I was wondering about that. I was just going to go back to this for a second, because that's the quantum... testing facility, and maybe some people may not understand the reference of Maralinga.
Oh yeah,
and what that means in Australia. Yeah. So quite a powerful symbol, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. So again, like the start of Timor, I wanted to draw from real, Australian history, and back in the 40s, there was some nuclear tests done in, it was part of the Buffalo nuclear tests, and they basically set off nukes in Maralinga, in Western Australia, and the local indigenous population copped the radiation from that. And as I said, it was it's a pretty intense history, a sore point in regards to that are nuclear testing in Australia, but in regards to indigenous relations when it comes to that. So I thought it was important to reference that, and again. A lot of American comics reference the Manhattan Project as well, and obviously named a character, after that.
There's a lot more of that gets explored in the TV series, the web series. But that's all of this is the book, the prelude to that.
Yeah. So as I said, if you love the web series, you want to know how Kyle became 0 Point, then obviously buy the graphic novel, especially the collected edition, and even again,
the Red Knight. The Russian
post-human, yeah.
I really like how there's this whole kind of geopolitical world that the superheroes are a part of in your story.
Yeah, I felt
it's very much a lived-in reality.
Yeah. It's something I think, obviously, if you have a story set purely in America, you can kind of get away with it, but all the way out in Australia, it just feels I don't know. Feels so isolated, so I definitely wanted to include that geopolitical, side of things.
And they're going through that a bit more in depth. This one has all this classified documents and the history behind there, and so there's Bush and Gorbachev. Oh no, Yeltsin, with their respect to their, guardian angels.
So I wanted to emphasize that post-humans, which is my tale for superhumans, and all metahumans or mutants or whatever you want to call them is, they're very much tied into a nation's
Nixon.
Yeah, that's right. Good old Nixon, Tricky Dick, tied into a nation's kind of standing on the world stage in terms of their, might. So in this universe, Australia is very much, its own superpower as well with the post-human citizens and the original 0 Point there.
Yeah, there's the Eighth Code files, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right.
So this is a little bit of, that's great. And then this is the last one, the third issue that just got launched. And there's another issue even to come out, but the graphic novel is going to happen before then.
Yes.
This is a great double-page spread. I reckon it's brilliant.
Yeah, so, I want to say for any future creators as well, if you're going to do a double-page spread, and you got to figure, maybe you move them a bit to the side so they don't get off by the seam there.
Yeah, it's true. It's like it's always tricky. Even when you're doing the center, it's very, very hard to get it right at the center. And then when it gets done into the graphic novel, it also eats it up a bit.
Yeah.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It's always something to be aware of when you're doing.
Yeah, but this one's got more of a full-on battle. This guy is like a hardcore villain. Comes in
bolts.
But maybe we should finish. Oh, there we go. This is a nice little finale ad for the Kickstarter that we're just about we're launching. It's on right now, and this is going to be a graphic novel, and that's going to be a cool little cutout circle there. So but there's the and then that's Season 0. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I was going to say yes. So definitely, check that out. Check the Kickstarter out, and we're going to collect all the stories. So that includes Origins, all the Origin series, and the fourth issue that's coming out.
Yeah, not number 0 though. This isn't going to be part of it, but it's going to still be about 140 pages. Yeah, quite a hefty. It's quite a big, but this is such a different kind of reality. But maybe that's an extra reward.
It could be. Yeah, I think
a DVD that we'll be releasing for it as part of it. This one you can get as a DVD and the book together. That will be printed as our first actually printed of the DVD.
Yeah, that's right. Something you can hop in your PlayStation and watch. But yeah, as I said, I think
there's some of the other comics from our catalogue as well now. And Wild North has grown quite a lot over the last few years. So there's all your books, Kronos, Dead City Lullaby, yes, brilliant book, the Future Tales graphic novel, the Australia book, Heavengrad by Levin. We'll have to get him to come in and do a talk on that. And the Black Power catalogue, that was a really interesting project. That was an art exhibition with many Indigenous artists from around Australia doing amazing work. That's exploring the superhero. That was cool. And then this is all the Wild North comics as well, all that we've made so far. So check it out. Thanks for coming and sharing all that, John. So I'm looking forward. I can't wait to see this all printed up as one final book.
Yeah. Now I'm looking forward to it too. It's I think it's as I said, been working on this a couple of years now. So having it all together in one collection will be great, I think.
Excellent. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll do the zoom in as the finale.
You're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. You'll find he is the wizard.